Hey, everybody, we are just a couple of days into the scorching hot first week of Vikings training camp, and Justin Jefferson has already shown us the leadership skills we can all only hope and dream that professional athletes may someday have half of. This week, he's given us a couple of examples of how off the field he is unquestionably this team's leader. He was questioned by the media earlier this week, and here's what Justin had to say.
That's not the worries that I have right now. It's really all about winning the Super Bowl. Just getting the wins and being with my team. The contract is going to play itself, and I'm just out here to play football.
I absolutely love this response from our star wide receiver. I'm not here to talk about my contract. I'm here to play football, and our goal is to win a Super Bowl. I'll let my agent handle the business outside of the football field. Perfect. Short, sweet, to the point. A sure sign of leadership that he's not interested in letting his contract negotiations become a distraction to the team. And frankly, it's a little ridiculous at this point because he was only eligible for an extension at the beginning of the league year. And if it was this time next season where Justin was playing on his fifth-year option and still didn't have a long-term extension done, I could understand it being a story. Justin Jefferson is going to sign a mega extension. It's going to break all kinds of records. And at the end of it, there's a lot of negotiating back and forth. The Vikings know that they're going to have to pay this guy, and they know they're going to have to back up the Brinks trucks to do it. But they're not going to give him a fully guaranteed contract. So they got to negotiate how much of this up front, how much of this guaranteed, how much of this guaranteed for injury only, all those sorts of legal mumbo jumbo. I absolutely am thrilled that he just put the kibosh on it and said, this is not my arena, it's my agent's. I'm here to play football, talk football, and try to win a Super Bowl. Jefferson was also questioned about being a mentor to rookie wide receiver Jordan Addison. Quote, Thielen was that person for me and took me under his wing and showed me the ropes and taught me how to be a professional. That's the role I'm playing for him. Anything that he needs, I'm there for him. Cue the ain't no mountain high enough, but I digress. Jefferson probably would have been asked some sort of mentoring question, being that the Vikings used their first round pick on a wide receiver, regardless of the fact that Addison had that little speeding incident. But the fact that he already knows that he's the elder statesman in the room, the fact that he is undoubtedly the best wide receiver in all of football, and that any wide receiver on his team is going to look up to him for guidance, the fact that he is embracing this role is absolutely outstanding. Listen, he and Kirk Cousins are unquestionably the two leaders of this team. They're the two most popular players and ultimately are going to get the most interview requests. But the fact that Justin has embraced this shows me that he's not just the leader of the wide receiver group or one of the leaders of the offense. He is unquestionably the undisputed team leader, and I'm here for it. I mean, no disrespect to Stephon Diggs and Randy Moss, but as Vikings fans, we're always going to have it in the back of the mind that those two wide receivers didn't spend their entire career here and hope that nothing like that happens to Jefferson. And these are good signs. And maybe it's the Minnesota sports thing. I mean, we saw Kevin Garnett. We saw Big Pappy go to Boston. We saw Andrew Wiggins go to Golden State. Okay, just kidding on Wiggins. My point is this. We have a superstar. We all know that. But he's a superstar on the field, and he's a superstar leader off the field as well. The main question on everybody's mind is what's going to happen with Danielle Hunter. Well, we're pretty much on standby. We all know he's doing the lock-in where he's here so he doesn't get fined, copyright Marshawn Lynch, but he isn't doing anything. Although I'm guessing so far this week he doesn't mind not being out on that football field in this sweltering heat. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I want Danielle Hunter on this team, but I'm not going to give him oodles and oodles of money to stay here. Yes, he is underpaid. And yes, he did sign that contract. So regardless of where you feel the fault lies on this situation and how we got here, the bottom line is this. He is a key piece to this defense if he is here. I want him here. I want him extended. But I understand the Vikings saying, hey, you're about to be 29 years old here in a couple of months. We're not going to give you a bucket load of guaranteed money. If we can get a decent trade value in return for him, it's kind of hard for me not to take it. The NFL is a business, and like any other business, you have assets and you have liabilities. Assets depreciate. At some point, you either run your asset into the ground and just scrap it, or I could probably get some more use out of this asset, but I can actually get some return value for it right now if I get rid of it. That's the quandary the Vikings are in. You can get a second and a fourth, or dare I say a first. You have to take that deal. Whatever production he gives you in 2023, if you are convinced he's not going to be here beyond this season, you'd be foolish to pass up under the guise of, well, we need him for our defense this year. Yes, we do need him for the defense this year. And yes, I want to see him play with Brian Flores as his defensive coordinator. But if it's completely obvious that there is no hope that Danielle Hunter and the Vikings can work out a long-term extension, it would be foolish to just let him walk for nothing. As a fan base, we have to try to not have it both ways. Yeah. We can't say, well, we need Danielle Hunter for 2023 and we'll let the chips fall for the future beyond that, and at the same time criticize Kwesi for quote-unquote not getting enough for Zadarius Smith and absolutely not getting anything for Dalvin Cook. I do hope that if the Vikings don't re-sign him, that they get something in return, but I also hope that it doesn't drag out until the end of August, because I want this decision to be made, and I want this team to know where it's going defensively in particular. I want this team to know, yes, Danielle's going to be here, or he's not. Right now, with Danielle Hunter sitting out of practice, you got guys like Patrick Jones and DJ Wanham taking his place. If Danielle's not going to be here, then let's just know about it now. Jacksonville, call up Kwesi and offer that first-round pick so we can be done. Or, Kwesi, get that contract done. One way or the other. Don't let this linger on and become a distraction. While I know some have been holding out hope that Dalvin Cook might actually return to the Vikings, and probably had that fire stoked a little bit by Kirk Cousins at one of his press conferences earlier saying, hopefully Dalvin can make his way back here. Kwesi put the kibosh on that earlier this week by completely being evasive and almost kind of shaking his head in disgust, saying, yeah, that's just not going to happen. He didn't literally say that, but for all intents and purposes, he did. And while I don't like giving a whole lot of clout to Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, he hates the Packers almost as much as we do. This guy gave up tens of millions of dollars to not play for the Green Bay Packers anymore. Seriously?
Oh, how delicious it is!
There are reports that Dalvin Cook's meeting with the Jets, and now that Aaron Rodgers has given back some of his money, the Jets have the available funds to give him. I'm not going to cheer for the Jets one way or the other, whether Cook's on that team or not, because I can't cheer for Aaron Rodgers. And while if Cook went anywhere else other than, say, Green Bay, Chicago, or wherever Aaron Rodgers is playing, I wish him nothing but the best. If he ends up signing with the Jets, okay, so be it. That's going to make that division a lot of fun, with them and Buffalo being two out of the best four teams in the AFC, along with Kansas City and Cincinnati. The Jets, with that defense, Rodgers and Cook, yeah, AFC better be watching out for those guys. Maybe Cook really doesn't have any interest in playing for New York and is ultimately doing the Kirk Cousins bit and using the Jets for leverage and hoping that Miami offers up more money than what they originally have, because we all know that's where Delvin really wants to be. And frankly, I don't blame him. No state taxes in Florida, of course. Ultimately, we'll keep our eyes on this. Dalvin, we wish you nothing but the best. But do us all a favor and go to Miami. It's your hometown. That way we can cheer for you a little bit more, because it's going to be difficult for us to cheer for you if you're playing next to Aaron Rodgers. But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours. Leave me a comment, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and as always, Skol to the next episode.